Breaking news! A behind-the-scenes shift might be unfolding in Baltimore, and it involves a player whose return could quietly shake the foundation of the Ravens' offense. From injury setbacks to contract whispers, to a possible power struggle at one of the most critical positions on the field, what's really going on with Isaiah Likely? Why are fans suddenly questioning Mark Andrews' role? And could we be witnessing the beginning of a bold new era at tight end? But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Ravens!" Let's dive right into what's really going on with Isaiah Likely. Ever since that dreaded injury back on July 30th, a foot fracture on the final rep of a late July practice, fans have been waiting anxiously for updates on the tight end who's been seen as a potential game changer for this offense. At the time, Ian Rappaport reported that surgery would be required, with a return timeline of around 6 weeks. Jeremy Fowler even hinted that a Week 1 comeback wasn't off the table. But as Week 1 came and went, Likely wasn't on the field. Fast forward to now, and we finally have something tangible. A flicker of hope, a spark, delivered directly from Isaiah himself via Instagram. In the video posted, Likely is seen going full speed through agility drills. Not half speed, not limping, he's cutting, stopping, planting, left foot, right foot, complete stop, full control. And perhaps most importantly, he's putting all of his weight on the same foot that required surgery just over a month ago. It's not a highlight reel. It's not a hype tape. It's a quiet, confident message. I'm getting there. Now, let's not overreact to a workout clip, but it's impossible to ignore what this means. He's pushing off. He's sticking those final cuts with intensity. That tells us two things. Physically, the foot is responding well. But mentally, that might be the bigger battle, and the one he seems to be conquering. Full trust in that surgically repaired foot might be the final checkpoint before he gets back in pads. So where does that leave us heading into the next stretch of the season? Don't count on seeing Likely suit up against Cleveland. It doesn't make much sense to rush a player back if you're confident you can win without him. And with names like Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Justice Hill, and of course Mark Andrews, this Ravens offense still has plenty of firepower. But after that Browns game, buckle up, because it gets brutal. Lions, Chiefs, Texans, Rams, that's 4 straight playoff caliber teams. You need your full arsenal for that stretch. And here's the kicker, that game against Detroit, Monday Night Football, an extra day of rest, a spotlight game, 54 days since surgery. That could be the moment for Likely's return. Imagine that, the lights, the national audience, and Isaiah Likely making his comeback in prime time. It lines up perfectly with the timeline doctors estimated. And so far, no red flags, no delays, no negative updates, only progress. But there's more to this story than just a return from injury. Likely's situation is layered, and it's getting even more intriguing. Remember, this is a contract year. The more games he plays, the better his negotiating leverage. And just hours before that foot injury in July, reports were swirling that the Ravens were close to locking him up with a new deal. Ricky Scoops broke it first. Spencer Schultz confirmed it. Everything pointed to Likely being the next man up for an extension, until that injury threw everything into flux. Now, we don't know if the injury delayed negotiations, but we do know that Isaiah's got every reason to get back on the field fast. Not just for the team, not just for the fans, but for his own future. And then there's the elephant in the room, Mark Andrews. Yes, Andrews is still TE1. Yes, he's a cornerstone of this offense. But if you watched the Bills game, you saw the same thing everyone else did. A flat effort, 1 catch, 5 yards. But more importantly, a critical missed block on a jet sweep to Zay Flowers that killed the play. Andrews was just standing there, not engaging, not sealing the edge. And the defender he could have blocked, he made the tackle. That's not acceptable from a veteran leader. And it opens the door for Likely to challenge, not just to be a contributor, but to take that TE1 role if Andrews continues to underperform. It's not about one bad game. It's about consistency, effort, and reliability. Right now, Isaiah Likely is hungry. He's motivated. He wants to prove something. And when that desire meets opportunity, you better believe sparks are going to fly. And this is where the tension starts to rise, because it's not just about Likely being healthy again. It's about what version of Isaiah Likely we're going to get, and what that means for the Baltimore Ravens offense moving forward. This team is in a rare position. They're deep, they're dangerous, and they're loaded with veteran talent at every skill position. But when you've got a young player like Likely who is on the verge of getting a new deal, who's already shown flashes of being a high-ceiling pass catcher, and who's watching the current starter underperform, the natural momentum starts to shift. If Isaiah returns week 3, as projected, against Detroit on Monday Night Football, it won't just be a comeback, it could be a takeover. And we're not talking about a rookie hoping for a few targets. Likely is coming back with something to prove. He's got the talent. He's been working hard, and from what we've seen, he's healing ahead of schedule. If he hits the field in Detroit, watch out. This could be the night where he not only returns, but announces that he's ready for more than just a TE2 role. And while fans might be divided on the idea of benching or phasing out a player like Mark Andrews, a multi-time Pro Bowler, a fan favorite, you can't deny what's happening on the field. If Andrews continues to lack energy and discipline in key moments, and if Likely brings fire and precision when he's back, that comparison is going to be impossible to ignore. The Ravens coaching staff may be forced into a decision sooner than expected. Because here's the bottom line. In this league, it's about what have you done for me lately. And if you're watching tape, Isaiah Likely's tape might be silent right now because he's recovering, but Mark Andrews' tape from week 1 is doing him no favors. Another layer to all of this? The roster math. You've got so many mouths to feed. Henry, Hopkins, Bateman, Flowers, Hill, Likely, Andrews. That's a lot of offensive firepower, but also a lot of egos, a lot of contracts, and a lot of competition. With the Ravens facing elite teams in the next few weeks, it's going to be a real test of whether this offense can evolve with the talent it has. Because the truth is, Likely is more than just a luxury right now. He might be exactly what this offense needs, a versatile, fast, physical tight end who can stretch the field, make contested catches, and run after the catch. And don't forget the looming financial storyline. If the Ravens do decide to move forward with Likely as the primary tight end, what does that mean for Andrews' future? With the cap tight and young stars like Tyler Linderbaum, Travis Jones, and even Odafoe approaching new deals, the front office will have tough decisions to make. And those decisions may come down to performance this season. That's why every snap matters. Every play Likely makes from the moment he returns could shift the direction of this team's roster building for years to come. He's not just fighting for snaps. He's fighting for his career arc, his next contract, and possibly the top tight end spot on this team. So as we look ahead, the Ravens coaching staff is going to be in the spotlight too. How do you manage this situation? Do you ease Likely in slowly? Do you start dialing up plays for him immediately? Do you run more two tight end sets to keep defenses guessing? Or do you go bold and hand him the keys? Because remember, it's not just about getting Likely on the field. It's about putting him in a position to thrive. If you're going to unleash him in a high-pressure, nationally televised game against a playoff-caliber Lions defense, you better be sure he's not just physically ready, but mentally locked in. All signs right now point to that being the case. But when that moment comes, will the Ravens let him take it? That's what I want to know from you. If Likely balls out in his return, should he stay in that starting role? Should the Ravens hand him more responsibility, even if it comes at the expense of a veteran like Mark Andrews? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive updates on all things Ravens. Smash that like button if you're hyped to see Likely back in action, and make sure to check out the next video on your screen. We've got more breakdowns coming your way. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Ravens!